Hello everyone, Krydax here. Welcome back to another episode of pYanodon's Season 3. In this episode, we're going to be doing stuff and things. I don't know, it's been the weekend. I don't remember anything. What are we doing, actually? My to-do list says Cromnissa. Ah, yes, Cromnissa and Nealtissa, which I believe were part of the monolayer material? Yeah. Yeah, and then the PTCDA is another separate nightmare that requires organic acid anhydride, which is Navins, and phosphorus pentasulfide, which is phosphate and sulfur. But we get some pyrite out of that, which is nice. We're going to need that pyrite for various things, so we're probably going to want a big storage on that trasher. Let's see. For now, I think I can set these up pretty simply. I just don't know if they're unlocked yet. I don't remember when these unlock. Yeah, they're not researched yet. And in fact, we're still a ways from being able to research those. I could set it up. I could set it up. Oh, you know what? I think I just kind of realized the point here. I don't know how I didn't spot this. What we could do is we could make it both ways and not have a pyrite output. So I think that might be the intent, is you make some of it with the sulfur and then you get some pyrite and then you make some of it with the pyrite. I don't know what the percentages are. You know, it's probably like 20% or something. It gets you a little bit too much pyrite. So 25%? Closer, 28%? Yeah, basically. So something like that. And that way you need less sulfur, same amount of phosphate rock. So I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, the only reason this is good is because... Actually, do I have any reasons why this is good? Is it slightly faster? I'm not even sure that it is. I mean, I think pyrite is better than sulfur. Like, on balance. So I think I'd rather just use more sulfur and get pyrite as a byproduct, rather than use up the pyrite and save a little bit on sulfur. Yeah, never mind. I think this is still the best way to do it. Anyway, what are we doing right now? What have we researched recently? Let's scroll down to the bottom here. Oh, Moss Stage 2 is researched. Moss Stage 2! Yes. Okay, that's what we're doing, baby. All right, so Moss Stage 2. I am hyped about. Okay, what do we need for Moss Stage 2? I don't even know. I'm too excited to think. All right. Typing in Moss Stage 2 doesn't work. All right, Mark 2 Moss. We just make it directly in a moss farm. Eventually we're going to need cDNA moss gene samples for each Moss Mark II. That's kind of a lot. And then liquid manure and xenogenic cells. And solidified sarcoris. Now that's annoying. Ugh. Spoilable in there. Okay, so that's the complex one. The initial startup, I might just do manually somewhere that we have urea and sodium alginate, because we're only going to need this to run like 100 times. So I'm going to go manually grab some sodium alginate. That should be possible over in the latex rubber plant. And then urea I should be able to grab from a lot of places. And then I guess we'll have to set up the moss near here because it requires solidified Sarcoris, which is super duper annoying. And that one's complex to make, right? Yeah, it's substrate, flora, plasmid, and cotton gut, and depolymerized organics. There's so much stuff going into that. So I'm gonna need some other trigger. So this stops. It's enabled if red is 0. So yeah, I need another thing that will output the stop signal. So right now it's stopping if we have pi and logisci. So we only want it to stop if we have pi and logisci and enough moss mark 2. Otherwise we're gonna keep making sarcori up to that limit. Okay, so I'm already hopped out of the train. So sodium alginate is on this belt. So we'll just hoover up a bunch of this. I'm gonna go with 150 to be safe. And now we need to go find some urea. Where's the easiest place to grab a bunch of urea? Probably from the place we're making it, which is right here. So as far as the stream, it'll probably be 2 or 3 weeks from now, given the playtime currently. Let's see. Today's Monday, so this episode's coming out on Tuesday, which means, yeah, probably 2 weeks from now, we'll have done 10 more episodes. I'm getting better at being under an hour each time. So I think I'll probably be good to go in like 2 weeks. Okay, we've got urea, sodium alginate, and what else do we need? We need moss and muddy sludge. Okay. Well, that's easy enough to set up. Why don't I just set that up at moss? Since we've already got all the muddy sludge right there, and we've already got a bunch of moss modules, why don't I just set this up right here? I don't know how many buildings we'll need. I'll just do 2. All right, so then these guys, phase 2 moss breeding program. The rate is 0.36 an hour. Oh, no, that's without the moss modules. Right. The rate is 5.76 an hour. And we only need 2. So this will be done in like 20 minutes. Perfect. Perfect. All right, and then as far as the goopy stuff, we'll just go up, boom, boom. All right, that should do it. So as soon as those get here, I think we're good to go. And that'll get us started. And then from there, we need the other recipe, which is a botanical nursery near the science, and we need access to liquid manure and xenogenic cells and ground samples too, which is annoying. Okay, so xenogenic cells and liquid manure. Are we getting liquid manure anywhere in here already? It looks like we're not. That's also annoying. We're getting liquid manure over here. No, but the xenogenic cells are over here already. So that would keep me from having to train them. And I've got an empty request there that I could put liquid manure on. So, and don't we already have channel 1 connected between these 2 areas? I think we do. It's always hard to find. Maybe we don't. Let's see. This is channel 1. You know we don't, but I could bring channel 1 over to here and then, yeah. Okay, I think I like that idea. Because we've already got the xenogenic cells. This is a standard fluid requester, so we can just do liquid manure. Bring that in to here. Is that? Yeah, that's okay. Wait, no, it's not okay. Because of, oh, that's annoying. Here, let's put it there, and then, actually don't know how to do this. Like this. Because I still have to wire it up, is why I'm kind of not wanting to put it all the way across the way. Alright, and then this is liquid manure. Okay, I can't find enough trains for ore. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, these are ready to go. We just need ingredients. Blop. 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 And what's the problem? Oh. Wait. What? Yo, I'm so confused. Did that inserter just grab 3 random modules and then stop? What in the... Oh no, bots brought modules. Okay, I was super confused. I was like, how did that inserter grab modules but then not grab modules? It didn't. That's the answer. It was just bots that brought them. Okay. This should go pretty fast. Like we said, you know, the rate here, we're gonna be getting... What just happened? How did we lose all the modules? Oh, goodness. Is there a way to just fill the module slots more easily than this if the building requires the modules as an input? I don't know if there is. This has always bothered me. Alright. I think I control clicked and took them all out accidentally. Alright, so we're going to be getting 1 every 10 minutes is the current rate. And again, we only need 2 of them. And it's a 2%, which is a much lower variance than the 0.5%. So we're actually pretty likely to get one in the 10 to 12 minute range. Cool. So then from there, we still need the botanical nursery. Okay, and this will be fast enough as well. 1.6 minute crafting time. So we'll get 3 a minute. No, 3 every 1.6 minutes, which is 1 every 2 a minute. 120 moss jewels an hour. That feels like enough to me. It feels like enough to me. Okay. And then ground samples, I guess we'll also just bring over. Okay. So this... Well, why don't I make it nearby? Because we can pretty easily bring over the fluids. You know, just long pipes. So I'll put this over here. And then the real question is, can I make more ground sample than is needed? And I'm pretty sure the answer is like heckin' yes. Because I'm pretty sure we're not using anywhere near this amount of good. Yeah, we're using 0.1. Well, no. Yeah? No. How many poor alien samples am I using total? 0.017. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can just look here. Yeah, we're talking like 0.1 production rate, maxed, kind of no matter what timestamp. And then this can make even more than that needs, even if it was making 0.8. So yeah, we'll have some extra ground samples. There already are some on channel 1, so that's good to go. Sarcoris is on channel 1, so that's good to go. And then we just need to manufacture Moss Mk.2 signal is greater than, we'll say, 300 Moss joules? 400? And that signal that we're inputting with is gonna have to come from... Wait, that's not... Oh, that's confused me multiple times, by the way. Can I, like, shift this? Yeah, that'll make it a lot better. Because there's, like, an intersection of two wires there to confuse me every time. So this signal going to this building is the one that we need to be connected to over there. So let's get a couple disconnected of these guys. That one can actually be connected. And then measure green wire to there, to there, to there. Okay. So that's good. Then we need a provider, then we need a requester. Those will be on channel 1, which we can't reach over to there, so we need another channel 1 roboport. And then bring over the stuff, and then request. That'll be self feed, and those are okay. So yeah, we don't need any belts here. Alright, I'm gonna go from up here, actually. Boom, boom. Okay, and then manure is the bottom one. No, manure's the top. Well, I can just flip it. Yeah, manure's the bottom one. There we go. Alright, so manure is the bottom one, so we do something like that, and then the xenogenic stem cells are over here. I guess we can just do that. And then those can just be locked in to this. Like that, and that can be a corner. Okay, I think that does it for that connection. No, wait, not quite. Okay. All right, that does it for the two fluids. Then we need to channel 1 these bad boys, and channel 1 this bad boy. Click, click. It's a bad sign there's no moss gene or cDNA. Are those on the main network? They are. How do I feel about that? Am I okay with that? I generally don't like requesting main network things. I could have a channel 1. Well, but what if I end up making cDNA somewhere else? Given this is a non-constant demand, that makes me far more okay with a channel 0 requester. I think I actually will do that. This will be for the Sarcoris and the ground sample, and this one will not have the Sarcoris in the ground sample. And instead we'll have the moss genes and the cDNAs. And this one is gonna have to do a weird, like, only request Sarcoris if we actually need stuff. So I'm gonna need some sort of decider combinator. That is wired up. Oh, I can't wire it up yet because it's a different force. Interesting. Okay, and I'm gonna do a weird thing here. Hear me out. So the output is strictly Moss Mark II. There's no byproducts. And then I'm gonna take from that, but only if there's like more than, you know, 5 or 10 or something. Just to guarantee we never run out. And then this will go here, and that is channel 0 actually, for the construction bots to come grab. And I think that's pretty much it. How are we doing on these guys? Have we had any successes yet? I don't think so. Feels like we're still pretty standard. We've had 44 products, 0 successes. That's still fine. It'll be if we have like 440 products and 0 successes. That's bad luck. Currently, we're not on bad luck yet. All right, so this decider combinator, we want to set requests, and we'll have the 10 ground sample, but then this is measuring this guy, and if Moss Mark II less than 5 hundos, or did I do 300? 400? I don't remember how many hundred. Output solidified Sarcoris of 2, 3? We'll say 3. Okay, so we've got our constant request, the circuit set request, and you know what? No, let's just say like 1. I think that's fine. And then this is gonna make chitin. So we do want trash unrequested. Otherwise it'll fill up on chitin over time. Alright, this has all been kind of crazy for this one thing. Alright, was 500 the number I set over here? No. It is now. Alright, and they're probably stacked to 50, yeah. So we have room for 600. Sweet. I think that's all good to go then. We're just missing the initial moss jewels, which I'm hoping are forthcoming. We only need 2 of them. Come on, baby. We've lost the initial coin flip. I think we're in the bottom 50 percentile at this point. Because remember, the expected number of rolls you need to get a 2% is 50 rolls, but the median number of rolls is less than 50. It's going to be like, what is it, 35? So if you take 36 rolls, roughly, you're already in the bottom half of the population. Which is weird. That's a counterintuitive reality. You'd think those would be the same number, but they're not. It is a skewed data set. Anyway, Moss Stage 2... I won't check it off yet, just because it's not done yet. And is the phosphorus pentasulfide also locked behind this? It is. Annoying. So I can't really do those yet. Putting geothermal on trains, I can do anytime. The only question I have, though, is do I need geothermal water for anything else? Yes, the answer is yes, actually. We need it for 2 things. 3, maybe? Crude salt. We can also make it with chitin. I've already unlocked this ability. I can... Oh, now that... Huh. How much geothermal water did I need? I don't hate that idea if the amount we need is tiny. We need 9. How bad would that be to make out of chitin? It'd be 2 atomizers. Which run on fuel, apparently. With 0.36 chitin. That doesn't seem worth it, considering we get geothermal water for free out of the ground. All we got to do is find one of those geothermals. Nope, that's salt. That's bitumen. I know we, like, moved the train tracks around a geothermal vent. Where was that? Ah, right here. Okay, so all we got to do here... And look, we've already got a, some open channels, 3, 4, and 5 here. No, sorry, 4, 5, and 6. So this one's open. Number 4 here is open for business. So this will be geothermal water. Let's see. It'll attach right here. And we'll do a pump. Copper wire. I almost never need to do this. I think this is the first time I've done this. Oop. Is that not how it works? Isn't that? That's... Okay. So... Because it's not copper wire, like the vanilla copper wire, it doesn't know that that's how you wire up buildings or power poles. So can you not manually wire up power poles in Pi, or is there just... Oh, there we go. Never mind. I just had to find the button. Wait, these aren't doing anything. These are dummy poles. Okay, so that's a one-way pump that should fill this tank with geothermal water. And then we just have to bring that icon to here. Alright. Geothermal water is available. Oh, this is the old version where we gotta double it up. Okay, that's fine. I don't plan to trash geothermal water anytime soon. That would be stupid. Because again, you can just sinkhole it, so. All right, so geothermal on trains is done. That was one of our to-do list items. Oleochemicals could be something I do next. Let's see. Let me take a sip of coffee. Wow, I did not grab enough wood? Oh, no, I did. It's just, it didn't all fit. There we go. I might need to grab more if we're getting unlucky here. I only grabbed 154 products. And the chance, let me pull up the old binomial distribution calculator. The chance that we fail, so 0.2 success, no, sorry, 0.02. 0.2, I wish. Number of trials, 154, number of successes, 2. The chance of failure is only 18% here with the number of stuff that I got. Did I get enough? I don't think I got 750 wood, though. I might need some more wood. Look what I found. Oh, and there's more urea right here. So then all I need is more sodium alginate. Okay, I think I got too much wood now. Whoops. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, I might run out of sodium alginate. That would be annoying. I forget, did I put chlorine on trains? Chlorinated water, that is. I didn't. But I can. There's literally... whatever this is just an available multi-provider. I think. Yep. So I could easily put chlorinated water in there and make moss in another location if we need to expand it. For now, I'm not planning to expand it. I think we've been okay on moss. Yeah, this has meant that production's capped out. So we haven't needed more. I still think there's something funky with my numbers for like when we're switching to recipe 1. I don't know if I can totally explain that because when are we switching? We're switching when we get to 12,000 moss, which is 240 stacks. So that still leaves us with 70 stacks above that. Okay. So that kind of, I think that's good then. And what that means is like when it switches to channel 1, it's not making it fast enough to keep up with our base's consumption. And when I say channel 1, I mean recipe 1. And I'm not even, should I allow the switching anymore? Because then we waste some chlorine. We save stone but waste chlorine. Like, is that even a good trade? I don't know at this point. We have so much stone flying around the base. It is only 1.1 chlorine a second though. Which is like 1 plastic and 13 chlorine. That's such a tiny amount of cost. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Okay, still no successes on these bad boys. We are certainly in the slightly unlucky realm at this point. But what else can we work on? So we got these guys figured out, but we can't make them yet. What else have I researched recently? Ooh, titanium stage 2. We could start looking into that. I could work on epoxy. I'm sure we'll need that at... well, I know we need the ECH at some point. I guess oleochemicals would be a thing to look at. I chose a sap turd. Oh, kick out. Did we look at kick out stage 3? Or I forget. Yeah, I think we were saying we didn't like the fertilizer. So I think we were saying we'd wait until 4. Because then the fertilizer per kick-out is a better ratio. And it helps the speed even more. Yeah, 5 to 32 instead of 5 to 20. That's a lot more kick-out per fertilizer. And all we add is flue gas? Yeah, that's a no-brainer. And I don't think we've been struggling with kick-out, so I'm not going to worry about that yet. Okay, so... shoot, I just lost my train of thought. What was it that I was looking at making? It was... no, I lost it. It was one of these things. Oh, I was going to look at the sap turd. Yeah, we've got moondrop, sap, and seaweed. What were the sap options? I don't remember looking at these. Oh, I do loosely remember this because of the black liquor thing. That's such a weird... It's mostly a way to make ash, I guess. Or turn tall oil into tar. Weird. And then it adds centrifuge cost to the FTS reactor. Okay, I probably don't want that one. I don't think that's necessary. What is this? Resveratrol. Bodos. Fungus. So you can turn Bodos into resveratrol in a sap extractor. What is resveratrol and why do I care? Alright. It's used in a few places. A building. It's used in polyketide synthesis enzymes, PKSs, and some animal upmarking. And it's got a really crappy recipe. Hey, there's our first Mk.2. 280 hours. We still need a second one though. At 90 products finished. Okay, so resveratrol is yotoi, nexolite, glassware, chromium, orgsolve, flavonoids, which are yadols. Navins and yadols, getting those mixed up, and arcad honey. So they're not cheap. Getting... I mean, basically, you're changing it to 1 Bodos equals 2 of these. So 10 of these would be 5 Bodos instead of all of this. Surely that's easier. So that seems like a decent recipe. It doesn't seem related to sap at all, so it's a little weird to have a sap turd that's like just a random way to make a completely unrelated product. Like, this is not related to sap in any way, except that it's made in a sap extractor. So I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this turd design. And I've seen it in a couple other places where there's like just an unrelated thing. It's kind of fun to have these crossovers, but in my humble opinion, it should be a 4th option. I think there should always be 3 options that directly affect sap itself and the sap chain somehow. Because this is really just a separate thing. This could have been in the... I think what I mean by that is, like, is sap relevant in any way to this? And not really, because this could have been in the Ralasia turd, or it could have been in the Yadel's turd, or it could have been in the sea sponge turd. Like, this could have been anything. It's just randomly creating one object out of another object, and neither of them are sap. So that one feels a bit... I mean, it's fine in a vacuum as a turd option, but just being in the sap, it makes it feel like there's only 2 options for sap, which are these 2. This one, on the other hand, what does this do? It lets you turn sap trees into sap. I don't remember. How do you make sap trees again? I mean, surely this is bad, right? Like, given how fast sap already is, and I don't even have the sap extractor Mark 2s, and sap is already free, so all it needs is space and power. I'm just struggling to think that I'm ever gonna need those types of recipes. Because I could just quadruple this, and now I have 30 sap a second for free. And this isn't even that big. I mean, I could double it with the space we already have here and not even bat an eye. And then that's 15 a second. So yeah, I'm off any of those weird recipes, which means on the plus side, I want to see how much power we use is what I was trying to do. Yeah, it's only 10 megawatts even to run all that. So anyway, I think we're not going to do any of those. I think what we'll do is this one. Or this one. Is this as crazy as I think? I mean, 60 sap into 200 ash. That makes each sap about 3.5 ash. Do I have other good ways to make ash? Bones are not a good way to make ash. Raw fiber is not a good way to make ash. That's not a good way. Flue gas, kind of an okay way if we have if we have a bunch of extra flue gas. Interesting. We don't actually have a way to make crap tons of ash right now. What am I talking about though? We do. We can just dump. I mean, look. We've been making a ton of ash since the beginning of the game, and we still are with this one method that doctors hate. Speaking of ash, look at this. I still have Ash Mountain over here that I need to do something with. All these inserters are costing UPS, I think. Maybe they're not because they're idle. I don't know how that all works. Anyway, if I ever need more ash, I can literally just do this. I can just feed raw coal into boilers. And there might be a building that uses more fuel that's better than just boilers, but this is a great way to make steam too. So, I mean, this wouldn't be that hard to make, like... Yeah, I mean, this is 45 ash a second right here, and it's not even that big. And that can be on one belt. So, I just can't imagine needing to do that weird sap recipe when I could just do this. Okay, well I'm gonna pick a turd even though we don't need it yet, just because I haven't made many turd decisions. It's so scary. I'm gonna do it. I did it. Parasitic relationship done. We have a great way to make resveratrol now, and now I have 3 so how many products finished? So 60, let's see. Moss Mark 2. It was literally just 2 minutes ago that we made the 3rd one. I guess it's been 3.5 minutes. Shoot, what's the recipe time here? Crafting speed of 1, recipe time 25, 4 a minute. So minus about 14 recipes from 122. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out my luck. So we really did about 108-ish. 108 for 2 at 2% gives us, let me pull it up. 108 trials, probability X is less than 2 is 36.15%. I mean, we're not the luckiest, but we're not that unlucky, you know. In a D6, this means we rolled a 1 or a 2, basically. So, you know, not crazy. It does feel like there's not many of these still that are over 50. We've lost the coin flip, you know, if you think about it, all but one time. We've only won the coin flip once since we've tracked. I'm pretty sure we won the coin flip big time on the Arcad Queen, which is, that's saying something. The Arcad Queen's a big deal. I just don't remember the numbers. You'd have to go back and look at the footage for all that, which I'm not about to do. All right, let's head back up to here and get the Moss Stage 2 going. Oh, Moss Stage 2 is gonna be great. I think it's literally gonna double our moss production, right? Aren't the modules 200 versus 100%? That means we're gonna have to rebuild all the belting. I'm not gonna have enough belting. Saying the word belting makes me think of Belter. I recently got into the show The Expanse. Holy crap. I don't normally talk a ton about, you know, just random other content, but man, I love The Expanse. It is such a good show. It's got the perfect mixture of like action, interesting characters, a little bit of drama, but not like, it's not a drama, you know, but like, it's not just action either. Which I like. And there's like political intrigue with all the different like Mars versus Earth versus, you know, people that live in the belt, as they call it. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. And my favorite part of it is regarding sci-fi stuff. A lot of sci-fi, Star Wars, I'm looking at you, is just completely hand wavy with physics. Like space physics go out the window. Anyone that's played Kerbal Space Program, you know, you learn how orbital mechanics actually work, and then you're like, nothing follows any amount of orbital mechanics. It's just flying, like flying a plane, but in space, is how most sci-fi addresses physics. And that's not at all how it works. It's not how orbits work. It's not how anything works. But in this show, like, ships have thrusters, and they actually like rotate, and they burn, you know, their main engine like towards their target, but then they have to decelerate, so they flip around backwards, and you know, they call it flip and burn. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's actually how it works. And it's just so refreshing to watch a sci-fi show that respects the basics of like physics and orbital mechanics. It does a really good job. I mean, I wouldn't say like, you know, it's not perfect. Like if you're literally someone that calculates orbital mechanics and does rocket physics, like, yeah, it's still a show meant to be entertaining for people that don't understand orbital mechanics. But boy, is it like 98% closer than any other sci-fi show I've ever seen. I highly recommend it. It's easily my favorite sci-fi show I've ever seen, and maybe even just my favorite sci-fi content, like in terms of movies or shows or books. I'm trying to think if there's anything yeah, anyway, highly recommend The Expanse. At least check it out. Give it like 4 to 6 episodes before you quit. If you watch the first episode and you're not into it yet, give it a few more, because it does, I feel like it takes a little bit to start up. Like you're not gonna get the whole feel of the show in the first episode. So give it a few episodes if you're at all interested in the idea of a cool sci-fi show. Give it like 4 episodes. And if you're not liking it by then yeah, maybe it's not your show, and that's totally fine. But anyway, we are now making Moss Mark 2. Very excited about this. I think we're all set up correctly. Yeah, that's it. Moss Mark 2's a go. So that's going to take a few hours before we have enough to actually double our moss production. And when I say double, it's not literally double, right? Because the building by itself counts as one module, and it has 15 modules in it. So we're going to move to basically 30 31 out of 32. No, 31 out of 16. Which is, you know, I mean, we're talking basically 2. We're gonna be at this speed, 1.93. Which is going to create problems because it's gonna increase the input to like 40 stone a second. We're gonna need more muddy sludge, more CO2, and we're gonna have crap tons of output. Okay, I need to decide right now what I want to do about... Do I want to prioritize non-stone cost moss? If we can. Because now that we're gonna have Mark 2, I could make a whole nother batch over here of recipe 1 moss makers. And that will cost us more chlorinated water. Why don't I do a quick comparison, and then we'll probably call it an episode after this. So if I make, let's just kind of ballpark, and eventually I might switch to the coarse fraction version. We get 50% more moss by doing that, but that'll only be after we have the iron to coarse fraction option. Anyway, these are our 2 options right now. So if I want to make, let's say 10 moss, and I'll make 50% with this recipe, 50% with the other. So what we're trading here is 0.218. No, I guess it's exactly 0.2. 0.2 chlorinated water is replacing 4.3 stone. Let me just double check my mental math. Am I doing that right? So we're using 0.2 more chlorinate, and I'm ignoring CO2 and muddy sludge as a cost. I realize that's not perfectly accurate, but those are basically just power. I have so much biomass running around, CO2 is infinite. Anyway, yeah, that seems worth it, right? Like, on balance. Because 0.2, I mean, 4.348, so we're using 0.2, so wait, no, 4.348 divided by 0.2. Yeah, we're using 1 chlorinated water to replace 21 stone. That is a lot. And 1 chlorinated water is only 10 chlorine, which is half of a guts replacing 20 stone, or it's, if I'm breaking apart HCl that I get for free as a byproduct from something, which will happen, it's barely anything. It's 50 saline water. I mean, $50 saline water is not nothing though. But 50 saline water replacing 20 stone, even if we're making that saline water directly from salt, that's 5 salt replacing 20 stone. That's not terrible, but it's not amazing either. Wait, doesn't guts make HCl, not chlorine? Have I gone mad? It makes both. Oh, cool. Interesting. So I'll be able to... make both. But that's only when we have a surplus of guts. Anyway, and then the plastic. 1 plastic bar. It's a plastic bar, Michael. What could it cost? $10? It's 2 melamine. Eventually, we're gonna have some other recipes. When do I get plastic 3. This is going to be great if aniline is cheap. Phenols. 50 cumene. To make 10 phenol? No. And cumene comes from the strip distillates. 50 strip distillates to make... Wait, but we can already do 10 phenol to make 20 melamine to make 10 plastic. 10 phenol makes 10 plastic already just with formaldehyde added. So what's the point of aniline also needing ammonia? That's just bad. Because that 10 phenol already makes 10 plastic. This is a bad recipe. This needs to be rebalanced. This is like straight up... I mean, I guess it saves you... Well, it saves you a step in some ways, but it costs you a step to make the aniline. So this is just bad. Like, strictly bad, right? Am I missing something? Because that 10 phenol can instead be added to 40 formaldehyde, which then makes 20 melamine, which then directly makes 10 plastic. With this recipe. 10 phenol makes 10 plastic. But then this other recipe that requires aniline, I guess unless there's another way to make aniline that's cheaper. I guess there's this way. If you're making aniline this way, but this seems way worse. 100 nitrobenzene. Well, I mean, if you count these two as free, 30 ammonia. But, oh no, Nexalate and antimony, and in large amounts, and we don't get a good way to make antimony for a long time. Because antimony 2 sucks butts, so it's probably not until antimony 3 that you actually get good productivity out of it. So using one of those, which is really 3.3 antimony and Nexalate to make 100 aniline to make 20 plastic, that seems terrible. Okay, anyway, so that plastic recipe's bad. This one we don't get forever. This one's bad. Again, 100 ammonia is just a big cost. That seems pointless. This one could be good if we have extra casein. We could... but what do not Mukmu, what's their name? This one could be fine. Lead, syngas, titanium, it doesn't seem worth it. Honestly, this one still seems the best. Just make the melamine from phenol. We get free acetone from that, which is free Orgsolv, remember? And ammonia on the side. And all it costs us was some strip distillates. That seems like the best play by far. And remember, strip distillates are just medium distillates. And we can make medium distillates from all of the cracking, which we already have some bitumen cracking going, but we can add in crude oil cracking primarily to make medium distillates at some point. And we get some free condensates and high distillates, which gives us some naphtha as well. So yeah, there's all sorts of, we'll do an oil cracker at some point, but all that to say, I think the best way to make plastic is the way we're already making it, which is melamine. And eventually we'll switch over to making melamine with the phenol recipe, which right now we're not doing. We can also make it with lignin, but that seems not that great. But maybe it's fine. I don't know. It seems like a lot of wood to make plastic. But wood is kind of easy to make. Decent amount of sodium hydroxide. I don't know. 1 phenol is 1 plastic, so that's basically 5 lignin to 5 plastic, which is basically 4 cellulose plus 2 sodium hydroxide would get you 8 plastic. That's not terrible. Right now, the way we make cellulose is this way. That's like 2.5 wood per plastic, though. Because this would get us 4 plastic. Okay, well, I mean, that's good to know, though, that we kind of have a way to turn wood into plastic. Wood plus sodium hydroxide. It's basically 2 wood plus 1 sodium hydroxide per plastic. Because the total cost here is 6 plus 2 more is 8. Yeah, it's literally 1 sodium hydroxide per plastic plus 2 wood, roughly. Okay, that's good to know. We are at an hour, so we've overstayed our welcome here, but we've got Moss Mark 2 going, and that is beautiful. Oleochemicals are probably next on the list. And yeah, we're getting stuff done. Feels good. And soon we're going to have next... Oh, look at that science. That is beautiful. Look at that 18 science per minute. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I don't know why it's so much flatter than it normally. Normally it's all wavy. We got a flat line there. That's glorious. I just need to look at it for a couple more seconds. All right. Well, Moss Mark 2's here. We'll be putting that in the next episode. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.